Restaurant. Today we are going to do our second one-on-one interview with Chermia Lucas, a talented artist that we met a few months ago at the Harlem School of the Arts. Very excited for you guys to hear more about the great things that she's doing for herself, family, and community. ENSPIRE magazine is here at Alvin Friends Restaurant in New Rochelle, New York. And we just finished up our paint and sip. Well, not our paint and sip, but Chermia Lucas' paint and sip here. And we had such an amazing time. And in that process, we are being fed. We have some oxtails and rice and peas. Oxtail. Very, very delicious. Thank you, Alvin. We want to shout you out for that. We really appreciate it.
Special sauce.
So, Chermia, tell our audience a little bit about you and what you do.
Sure. Well, my brand is Chermia Amour. Amour means love affair, the way I spell it, A-M-O-U-R. And basically, it's all about the things that I love, that I feel very passionate about, that I think other people would love and feel passionate about. And I just wanted to show people Chermia's Amour, like what it is that I love. And like that. My artist, as an artist, I signed Chermia Lucas because that's me. Right. And I'm from Baltimore, born and raised, grew up in Baltimore, Maryland. Went to school, Eastern Shore, University of Maryland, Eastern Shore. I graduated there 2008.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I graduated with a bachelor's in merchandising. And now, look at me, I'm not quite doing merchandising of other people's inventory, but I'm doing merchandising for myself.
So it kind of worked out. Like, whatever you, at that time, you went to go educate yourself with, it kind of like, you know.
Not knowing. I didn't know.
But it evolved into something
But it evolved, absolutely.
When did you realize at first that this is what you wanted to do, that you wanted to be an artist?
Well, I can tell you when I noticed, when I had the gift to even be able to draw what I seen. Me and my cousin, we were like 8 and 9, and I was 9, he was like 8, and he always wanted to be in competition with me, and I was like, I bet you can't draw this Mickey Mouse. And he had this Mickey Mouse book where it showed how he drew Mickey Mouse from the beginning to the end. And I was like, I could draw this from the cover. Like, I don't even need to go in the book.
Right.
I drew it, boop, 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 boop. He put his together, and his younger brother looked at me, and he said, I think she won. Wow. And I was like, yeah, and my Mickey looked just like Mickey, and his did not. And in my mind, I'm like, how can he not be able to do that?
Right.
And that's when I realized, okay, I have something here that's different. And then from there, I was just a kid who would take magazines. Like I had a Janet Jackson magazine. I went in class. And instead of doodling, I was like, try to draw Janet.
So wait, you were just looking at the magazine and you started drawing what you were seeing in the magazine?
I was just drawing the eye, the nose, the lips. And before I knew it, it was a whole picture. And I was the kid who got put out of class.
Right.
Because
you wasn't doing what you're supposed
I wasn't supposed to do that. But it was just something that I felt intrigued that, okay, if I can do this well, then I must have something here. And that's when I said, you know, let me make something out of it.
After you did that, did you seek any sort of additional education? Once you figured out, okay, this is what I want to do as an artist, whether it was, you know, you started your own business and you had to learn how to start your own business and do it that way, what were some things that you had to pick up after that along the way?
Well, I definitely realized that I needed a team. Like if I really wanted to produce my artwork to the level that, you know, people would see it, couldn't do it by myself.
Right.
And I solely couldn't do it with just, you know, putting it on social media. Because that also was a fear of mine too, is that if I put it out there, somebody may be able to take my ideas.
Just copy it and do what they want to do with it.
But I definitely did like the fact that I could see this world growing where people had great ideas and were doing it and putting it out there on social media. And I was like, why am I not doing that?
Right.
And eventually I said, I will. I won't be afraid. I'll just do it. And I developed my team with my future husband, my fiance. I said, hey, babe, I think that I should do something more serious with this art. He was like, I believe it. I mean, I've been telling you to do that.
Right.
I'm like, you have?
Right, that's a point.
But
good,
he
right?
is, because, it's that ear that's like always saying something, and you just, you go over it thinking like, oh, whatever. But everybody started to see and recognize it. And then the people didn't see it right away, when they found out, it was like, I did not know that you did this. So
that to me, that's like usually the case. But I just like, again, it's just amazing when you stumble upon your talent and what you're supposed to do. When you decide like this is what you want to do.
I was listening to what you were saying, because it's exactly like that. It's like when you figure out what it is that you want to do, God will make a way for you to put your talent and your gift out there. And the more that you sit in it thinking like, oh, how can I do this? I don't have this. I don't have that. These resources are not adding up. It just come out of nowhere. Like literally, like you'll meet a person. And all it takes is one person. And it may not be that person that you think should be the one.
Right.
But it'll be somebody that you won't even expect, as long as you stay consistent to your works and you just believe. And that's where the Bible say work in faith.
Amen. So I want you to talk a little bit about how you balance, family life and growing and building your legacy, your empire, or your talent.
To me, family is a big deal. Very much. Always been a big deal for me. Even as a kid, that was number one, is that I wanted a family. So to have my fiance, have my son and my daughter, and raise them up and try to like show them the world and what they can be, it was only natural for me to just say, Chermia, God didn't just give you this gift and this talent for no reason. Develop this because your kids are watching.
Right.
And my son is now 6 years old, and I'm just trying to teach him how to be an entrepreneur. And the best way to teach him is through my own experience. So as I embark on this journey, he's watching, and I'm involving him. I'm asking him, hey, what do you think about this? Do you like this? How about we create a character for you? How about we develop a story or a book? And he's like, yeah. And he loves to skateboard. And I'm like, how many Black kids do you see on skateboards?
Right.
So I said, Braxton, let's do something with this. So we're working on developing this right now, especially because I'm like, I'm not going to sit around and wait for a writer to come. Me and my son are going to write this.
Wow.
I'm going to illustrate the pictures and the characters, and we're going to develop it. And his father is like the mastermind between, creating the business of it, because we'll produce the art and the creative, and then
everything in-house.
and his dad, Bruce, can just sell it, market it.
Right.
And he's really good at being able to take something to the next level. So,
do the kids understand what is it that you do, your role, and your talent, and how your art helps other people?
I think they understand today.
Yeah. After the sip and paint.
Yeah, after the sip and paint, because I wasn't expecting for them to really jump in there and really go on the canvas, and it was so good.
Yes.
And I was just really happy to see, like, on a Sunday, that like they were sitting there working on the canvas, and the grandma came and like, Grandma, you got this, and motivating. So I think that Braxton knows, like, it takes work to do it. And I know he knows, because I have a whole station that I work out of, and I'm like, you can't come here.
And he knows not to go there.
And you go to bed, because I got to get up
Right.
and paint.
Right.
So, yeah. My daughter, she's only 1 year old. She doesn't turn 2 until June, and she can hold a pen or a pencil just like this. Like, I don't have to put it in her hand and say, do this. She just holds it, and she knows to do this.
She sees you do that all the time.
And she just gets it. And I think that she'll have that too. Also, too, I will say a lot of people on my father's side, they excellent artists.
Okay, so it's something that runs in the blood. Thank you for saying
It's
that
in
now.
the blood. Lucas blood is in there.
Okay.
My family is like big on the family history and everything. So if they're watching this,
I love that. No, that's
they'll be
important.
proud.
They should be. You're doing a lot of great things. And
Thank
again,
you.
the fact that your children are able to understand and kind of like mimic, I think that's so important, especially with us. You know, you have to build a legacy, and you can't build it by yourself and then give the kids the money later on. They need to understand and learn. So I think that's very, very important. And you also did mention your fiance, Bruce. Not only, you said he's the mastermind, but he also manages you.
Yeah.
So was that something that y'all decided to do, or did that just come along the way, like y'all working together?
Well, I think any man that I was going to be with was going to have to manage me. I was going to need some assistance regardless. But no, I think that I didn't know in what way he would be able to assist me. I thought that I just wanted somebody to believe in me and give me that confidence because that's more important than any of the other stuff. And he's been that and much more. So as far as like teaching me how to go in a room and be confident, not be over the top bougie, but just be able to say who you are, know who you are. And I'm coming from Baltimore. When you say, hey, you are this or you are that, we know that because we see you doing your thing on the magazines. We see you on television. We see how you making moves in the industry. But New Yorkers will tell you who they are and what they done did, and you ain't seen shit. I'm just like, this is lying. Like, you lying. But I've learned to not be I'm not a liar. I am an artist. I am a designer. I am a painter. I am an actress. I've done my work. Now, I'm not A-list. Or I'm not in a position to say that I can call, shots. But I am these things, and I should be able to say it and feel confident about it.
Definitely. My gosh. And all of that is just based on the relationship that you're building with somebody that you want to spend the rest of your life with, and you're like, yo, this is how we got to do this. We got to work together. Like, I'm not going to be the one doing all the pain and doing all this and doing all this, and you're not going to help. So I just think that's so important. Like some people feel like, okay, let's say he's an entertainer and, like she's a gymnast. Just throw that out there. Like, y'all live in two completely different worlds, but you still have to find a way. How can, if you're entertaining and she's figure out a way how to mesh that together and work together. And I think that's honestly what y'all doing. Y'all do a really, really great job.
Oh, thank you. Well, we starting from the bottom.
Yep, that's all right.
You know what I'm saying? Now we here. So we shall see what's to come. But I think that, any time that you be in a relationship with anybody, you should always be looking to how can you help each other. And like, he's a Pisces, I'm a Pisces. So we're dreamers. We are people who see the creative side of everything. And I needed somebody who wasn't as much of a dreamer as me to grasp a hold of what it is that I want to do and be able to fuel me into it. And that's what he does.
That's what's up. I want to ask you if there's one piece of advice that you can give to someone, to a mother or, someone who's in a relationship and, they want to start a business and, what advice would you give to them? Thank you.
Well, I would say, because, I had to learn from my own experience. Sometimes you don't have all of the tools in the toolbox, but you may have just that one thing. That one tool that's like, okay, I have to use this for everything. I have to use this to screw. I have to use this to hammer. But you use it based on, the ideas that is going to create something for you. It's going to create an opening. And that's where I feel like I had to do. And so my tool for the time that I'm in was social media. Social media was the way for me to allow other people to see what it is that I have. And it had its good and bads because you know, at the same time, you're relying on someone else's judgment of your work. And but that's what it is anyway. Anytime that you succeed at something, it's based off of somebody else's judgment. And I want to go into this world of entertainment, I have to be willing to deal with the judgment. And I mean, even you do it, you know what I mean? Before you, I mean, it's easy. You can see a video, Beyonce video. Oh, I love Beyonce video. You judging it, you know what I mean? Now, if you don't like Beyonce video, then they'll call you a hater.
That's true.
Because you don't love it. But this is the world that we live in. Like, if you're coming in with the talent, some people are going to like your talent. Some people are not. Deal with it. And that's where, like, me on social media has helped me to deal with not taking shit personal.
Yeah, you definitely have.
but put it out there. Because if you sit around, somebody else is going to do that. Somebody else's dream is going to be your dream. And you'll be sitting there at home resenting the fact that you didn't go after it. So you know what's so funny, and I meant to say this too. Monique just did this whole thing that went viral about Netflix and what she was paid and everything. And I thought it was magnificent to see someone stand up and say, hey, this is unfair, and let's do something about it. I kind of am disappointed right now with Instagram and social media because, like, now people are just mocking her and saying, oh, Chick-fil-A, oh, salad, you know, whatever it is. And it's like, you know, I get the comedy because she's a comedian or whatever, right? But this is not funny. Like, this is a serious situation where, you know, if you are a person of color, a woman, already you're a woman, then you're a person of color, and you're talking about what you're being paid, because nobody talks about what they're being paid. And you say, I got $500,000 in comparison to another person who got 13 million. That is ridiculously, like, lowball. You know what I mean? And I heard Wanda Sykes go on the radio and say, hey, I couldn't leave her out there because they offered me 250. That's half. So people can say, oh, Monique's not deserving of it, whatever the case may be. It's not even about that. It's about the fact that that's wrong. And how are you in a position to make anything differently if you're going to mock this woman? You know what I mean? You're talking about people that look like me and you. So I'm like, Wanda Sykes said, hey, you know, I don't even like social media like that. My people keep pressing me to do it. But she was like, you know, I got so much going on. How do I have time for social media? But you do have to have social media. Even these celebrities have to have a social media because people like Netflix are going off of those numbers too. Not so much about if you have the accolades or the success or the Oscars award, but it's your social media popping. It's the people intrigued by what it is that you do. And that's where I say, you know what, that's the good and bad. The good and bad of Instagram. It's a struggle. You know what I mean?
It definitely is. And that's actually, I like that because that's like a great segue. What I want to ask you is, can you think back to something you tried to do last year, maybe you didn't get to do, and then this year now you're doing it?
That's a good question. Last year, well, I know for sure I wanted to do a children's book, and it was just a thought. And now I'm actually thinking I can produce a children's book. I can do it. And I can write it. And I can speak it into existence because that's what's been happening. Everything. I did this painting 5 years ago of Billie Holiday.
Oh, wow.
I did all of these paintings maybe 4 years. My son is 6 years old. I did these paintings before he was born. And literally, like, I held on to it because I knew something was going to come for me to expose it. And now I'm like, you know, stick to it. You know, whatever it is, just stick to it.
I mean, I know that, like I said, it's very hard. I've noticed you doing the sipping paints. You also, are you looking into doing, I remember we were discussing something about some charity events or something that you wanted to start doing.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Okay, so right now I'm working with a couple of people who are very, very positive and very fluent in that world of charity. And so we were just talking about, I haven't chosen what charity yet, but I definitely know, coming from Baltimore, I went to inner city schools. I wanted to be able to give back to where I come from, and be able to go back there. So that's why I host Sip and Paints in Baltimore. Yeah, I was gonna say, don't you? That's why I'm like, okay, you're in New York, but you go back to Baltimore. I go back to Baltimore. I do my Sip and Paints, but I want to do something that is going to profit and help the community. And I came up in West Baltimore. So I definitely want to go into the schools, do projects, maybe even paint on the walls at my middle and elementary schools.
I think that'll be a really
high
great
school,
idea. Yeah.
So I'm working on it.
Okay. So let's see. It's 2018. Chermia, what can we expect from you? Where can people continue to buy and support you?
So you can check me out. I have a Facebook. It's Chermia Moore. You can go to the page, like it. And you can also see some of my listings for when I have events in the city near you. Also, I have an Instagram. It's at Chermia Amour, CHERMIAAMOUR. And you can follow me there. I have hashtags. There's nothing unpaintable. You can also check out some of my work if you hit that hashtag. And I'm going to do an Instagram where it'll just be my artwork. I'm working on that, but it'll be at by Chermia Moore. And there you have it.
And follow you on the Tough Love web series too, correct?
Yes, that's on YouTube. And they're Emmy-nominated web series. They got an Emmy last year.
Oh,
so look at that.
You
look at that. Into the game, like, what?
I see that. So again, this is just, again, I loved having this conversation. We're definitely going to be doing this more often.
Yes.
So on that note, INSPIRE out.
Woo!